Hi, David Odell here, Odell Complete Concrete. This is our first day on the job site. A quick before and after look. And this is how we get there. First of all, we're going to find the source of the sprinklers that used to be on this side of the driveway, and we're going to cap it off at that point. Rather than capping each individual head under the new slab, we'll just find the source, which is right here. We're going to cap it right there. So what we did, and that's what we did was we cut the pipe. Then what we do is we press the pipe, push it down to try to get all the excess water out, and then right before we glue it up, we pull the pipe up as far as we can, and that'll stop the water from running out until we can get this cap on here. This type of glue is the best that I've used for this type of work for sprinkler systems. You don't need a primer for it. All you have to do is make sure you have good clean pipe to work with. And it glues very quickly, so you don't have to sit around holding it. Right when you put it on, it's pretty much done. So we put glue on both sides of the pipe. And then when you slide it on, you'll do a quarter twist on it. And that's it. And then you want to test it and make sure that you don't blow water out somewhere else that you missed. And make sure your cap holds. So you put that under pressure. And give it about 20 minutes before you test it. That water line. Give the glue a chance to dry. We're going to leave that little sidewalk in because it was in good condition. No cracks, and the elevation looked good. So we can attach to it. We'll attach to it by doweling some rebar in. I'll use 3/8 inch holes. And we'll cut some rebar dowels, 3/8, and we'll drive them in. They'll fit nice and tight. So when I'm using this tractor to dig this out, I'm trying to dig out exactly to grade. I don't really want to over dig it, because if I over dig it, I'll either have to use more concrete or I'll try to have to put extra loose dirt on top to build the grade back up, which is never good when you have a undisturbed soil like this that's been sitting here for 40 years. You don't want to overcut and then try to recompact in. So I'll try to cut it right on the money, and if it goes a little deep, a little over 4 inches, I'll just pour it deep. That way I have a good base to pour on. And this ground was really hard because it had been getting wheel rolled by all the cars that had been parking on here in the past. So it's pretty tight. Now, a little rubber divider on the property line you see there in the grass, that was actually offset, and it's really over on the neighbor's property. So the new concrete's going to go right on the property line, and that'll act as the new line to separate the two properties. So that plastic can come out. There's no point in it now at this time. You know, here's somebody that came looking for an estimate on some more work. I painted all this out with some upside down spray paint. That way when I'm cutting this with a tractor, I'm not overcutting. The best dirt that I dig out of here I will save and put to the side, maybe in a couple wheelbarrows, or I'll save a pile of it somewhere. And I'll use that for backfilling where my form board was after I pull it out after the concrete's poured. You can see we're taking out some old sprinkler lines that were in here. They're all abandoned now since we cut it off at the source. Now there's the drill, 3/8 holes going into the side of the driveway. I'm doing those every 4 feet. My rebar is going to be at a 2-foot layout, so my holes are every other bar. You can go every bar if you'd like, but every other is fine. Now on the drainage on this, I'm just going to set it level across, or maybe even a little bit falling back to the property that I'm working. That way water runoff from this house and from their backyard doesn't flood the neighbor's property. So I'll be sloping it back towards the driveway basically. And of course it's going downhill. Now right here I'm pulling the string line. If you notice, I ran that 6-foot Milwaukee level vertically there. That way I could plumb my line down. And then I marked it on a sidewalk. Now I can pull the string line. Now some of this lumber that I'm using is pretty twisted, so I'm going to throw some kickers on it. It's going to take a little work, but I'm going to get it straightened out. As you can see, the end of that 2x4, how twisted it is there. So I'm going to break out the screw gun on this, because that's really the only thing that's going to hold that form plumb. I'm going to put some screws near the bottom of it where it's pushed out the most. You notice how that sucked it right up. Now I've got a nice straight form in there. Then I'll put another stake just to make sure that it doesn't move, because I have to crown this 2x4. So I'm prying it up with that shovel and I'm crowning the board. That way it matches the driveway. So 2 stakes on either end. That also acts so it won't spring up when I was crowning the center of that 2x4. So that 2x4 is under tension, in other words. And you'll notice that when I go to pull up the form when I strip, that it didn't take much before that board sprung right out of there. There's the setup. We've got the board crowned there, and you can see underneath that 2x4. So we're a good 4, maybe 4.5 inches deep. Got a couple kickers here and there off the uprights. Now we're cutting the steel, and we've got a 4.5-inch right angle grinder, the carborundum blade on it for cutting metal. Cuts it really quickly. Now what you see there at the bottom of the screen on the sidewalk there is a broken block. Block is not the same PSI as Dobie's, but it works fine for raising the rebar. And that's what I'll be using that broken block for, to elevate the rebar. Now on this job, normally if you've seen any of my videos, a lot of them are pump jobs. This one I'm going to actually back the concrete truck up here, and I'm going to put all the chutes on and pour it off of the back of the truck. I'm still using a pea gravel mix, but I'm using a 3250. Also, that's 3250 PSI, and it's a city mix, which means it has no cement substitutes, fly ash specifically. And I'm going to add some fiber mesh to the mix, which I happen to have at my storefront on sale. Now since we're not pouring this the same day that we dug it out, I can go ahead and flood this pretty good, and then it'll be nice. It'll be just right for the next morning for the pour. There's an old abandoned sprinkler that's still in there. We had to wheel this little upper section. We also found a drain that we had to salvage, because this backyard drains right out to here, and most of it's going to go right into that drain before it ever gets down the hill. So all we had to do with that is adjust the elevation a little bit and get a new a drain cap, a new grate. Now that we've wheeled that in and we got to that point, now we can go ahead and start dropping it out of the chute of the concrete truck. And that's probably about a 4.5-inch slump we're pouring it. You can see how it's stacking up. That's my 10-foot aluminum screed board. And we're just riding that off of the existing driveway and the top of the 2x4. We had a little excess down at the bottom, and we're going to sprinkle that up and throughout the entire area just to lose it. Now I just doused it with a little bit of water on top of the concrete. It makes it a little bit easier to run the bull float over. And since we're using a high PSI, a lot of cement, you can get away with adding a little bit of water. That's a 4-foot bull float with a rocker arm on it. Now we've already ran the walking edger. That was a 10-inch wide, 1/2-inch radius. Now I just went around with the funny float and knocked the line out that the edger left. Here I am dry lining, snapping out where my joints will go in. And all my joints are basically matching up with the existing joints on the concrete. So we're just pulling those lines on through the new stuff. Now the funny float one more time. Flatten everything out. Knock out some of the lines from the edger and joiner. Now you can see I have a funny float finish on there right now, kind of like a hand float finish. Now we're just getting ready to go through these joints one more time, and after I do that and run the walking edger one more time, it'll be ready to funny trowel. And that's basically a trowel with poles on it. And this was about 3.5-4 yards of concrete we poured in here. So that means about, at this depth, about 320 square feet, 350, somewhere in there. Now along the perimeter, you noticed we used the sponge and water just to get the residual concrete off of the existing. Now that we've got the edges nice and clean, the joints are nice and open, it's funny trowel time. No bleed water left on it. So this is what it looks like after you funny trowel. You could walk away from it like this pretty much, and a lot of people probably would. But we're going to stay a little bit longer and we're going to hand trowel it, and then we're going to broom it to give it a non-slip, because we are on a slope on this driveway. And if any sprinklers ever go in on the neighbors, you may get overspray, and it could get slippery if you were to leave it smooth with water on it on a hillside. Here's the curing compound that I'll be spraying on here after we broom it. So I'm going to broom it out with my 50% horsehair, 50% nylon broom, specifically for this concrete work. After I get it all broomed out, I'll hit it with the curing compound. So we're going to strip this form as well, same day. Since I used my world famous used motor oil with a little bit of diesel in there just to make it so it would spray a little easier, I mixed my Mobil 1 100% synthetic with diesel. About 1:4 ratio. 1 diesel, 4 used motor oil. That's why that form came off so easy. Then when I hit it with the curing compound, not only did I hit the surface, but I hit the sides as well. Curing compound's on there. It's already dried clear for the most part. See that joint right off of that crack? Because that's where it's going to want to crack. It's going to want to follow that crack right on through. So now it can not be visible. There's the piles of dirt I was talking about earlier, leaving on the job site, so we can go ahead and backfill along this edge here. Thank you for watching, and if you like these type of videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you can get notified when I upload another video. Thanks, have a good day.